When Steve Jobs passed away, he left behind a staggering fortune, more than $27 billion. But unlike many billionaires, he and his family made a radical choice. None of it would be directly inherited by his children. Yet for his youngest daughter, Eve Jobs, that didn't mean a life of loss. At 27, she's a Stanford graduate, a professional equestrian, a model. And now she's stepped into a new chapter of life, choosing love over inherited wealth. This is the inspiring story of Eve Jobs. Section 1. Steve Jobs' Estate Decision. Steve Jobs died in October 2011 after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. At the time, his estate was valued in the billions. Most of it passed to his wife, Laurene Powell Jobs. But here's what made headlines. Laurene publicly stated she had no plans to pass this vast wealth down to their children. Instead, she would dedicate it to philanthropy and causes she believed in. This wasn't just about money. It was a statement. Steve and Laurene believed that their children should build their own paths, not live in the shadow of inherited billions. It's a decision that shocked some and inspired others. Section 2. Who is Eve Jobs? Eve Jobs was born in 1998, the youngest daughter of Steve Jobs and Laurene Powell Jobs. Unlike her father, she didn't dive into tech. Instead, she found her passion in sports and fashion. She became a competitive equestrian, representing the U.S. in international show jumping events. She also graduated from Stanford University, one of the most prestigious universities in the world. And on top of that, she built a career as a model, appearing in campaigns for major fashion brands. In other words, Eve didn't wait for a fortune. She built a life. Section 3. A Wedding Like a Fairy Tale. In July 2025, Eve Jobs married British Olympic show jumper Harry Charles in a stunning ceremony in the Cotswolds, England. The wedding took place in the historic St. Michael's and All Angels Church. She wore a lace Givenchy gown designed by Sarah Burton. The reception? A star-studded celebration with Elton John himself performing. Friends, family, and influential figures from around the world were there. But beyond the glamour, the real story is this. She wasn't walking down the aisle as a billionaire heiress. She was walking down as a woman who chose love, partnership, and a life she built herself. Section 4. The meaning behind the choice. Eve's story is powerful because it challenges a common idea, that wealth equals happiness, that inheritance defines identity. Instead, she shows us another path, one built on personal effort, love, and independence. She didn't inherit her father's billions. She inherited his spirit of determination. Closing. Steve Jobs changed the world through technology, but perhaps one of the most remarkable parts of his legacy is the message passed on to his children. Create your own path. And Eve Jobs has done exactly that. She didn't inherit money, she built a life, and she chose love. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Tell us in the comments, what do you think real legacy means?